6:30. Call to order the March 2nd, 2026 Select Board meeting for the Town of Nottingham. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, hopefully we can put all the snow behind us at this point.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, that's a little bit. Going into an inch, that's nothing. 1 to 2 feet. Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
But it'll be above 40, so I'll
That's
take that. The accounts payable and payroll.
I'll make a motion that we approve the accounts payable and payroll for February 17 and March 2nd.
Is it possible to do those separately?
Of course.
The,
If you don't mind, if you
The
do the
dates?
17th, yeah,
okay,
thank you.
I make a motion that we approve the accounts payable and payroll for February 17th.
I'll second that.
With a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll make a motion that we approve the accounts payable and payroll for March 2nd, 3rd.
And I'll second that,
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
abstaining.
Motion carries. Public and non-public meetings from February 2nd.
No, one time. I make a motion that we approve the public and non-public meeting minutes from February 2nd.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Welch, would you like to start us off?
Sure, so recycling center, everything seems to be going well up there. Don't seem to be any problems as of right now. Everything's doing well at the rec center. They got a lot going on. Anybody like to know, please look at their website and join them in any of the events they have coming up.
We did have planning board last week. We discussed accepting a case, but after a long discussion, we decided not to because everything that should have been there wasn't all there. So we pushed that off. That was pretty much it.
Very good. Master Planning Committee actually met. It's been a while since, we actually had not met since our event that we held for the public back in November. But we did chat about the housing chapter and we're focused, we have another meeting on Thursday to focus on the goals for the housing chapter, which there was a lengthy discussion about that, trying to, figure out our recommendations to the planning board and then the planning board deciding how to implement those recommendations versus us coming up with the
Is that the biggest section?
housing. Well, the housing section, I would say it probably is because it comes down to recommendations to the planning board when it comes to zoning, but all of the chapters are lengthy. It's just this one here is the one that's being paid for by the grant. So
A little more.
That's the primary focus.
that's the primary focus right now.
Because of the grant.
I'd say the natural resources is probably the second, and it's also funded partially by or mostly by a grant too. And that one is really gonna get going in the spring once the snow melts. There'll be a couple of different public events for folks to attend to verify vernal pools in the community, and then there'll be an event, I believe it is Saturday, May 2nd.
That's coming up. It seems so far out when it was
2 months
talked
away.
about.
Yeah.
It's 2 months away. So I just definitely keep an eye out for that, things to get the community involved in our natural resources. And then hopefully the rest of the chapters of the town report, a lot of it's just data. So it's just pulling together a ton of numbers to update. So
Good.
Mr. Sherman?
The highway department's been pretty busy, and then we're gonna talk about road postings or not. I still did not hear on if the grader is where that thing is right now. I have no idea.
We got invoiced for it, we just haven't paid for it yet, because we wanna make sure that it's actually here and going to be supplied
It's a
before we get
yeah.
it.
Plan.
Right. We don't know.
You don't know?
Not here.
So, and then other than that, I mean, I think they're doing what they can with what they got, and everything seems to be, nothing's, not that I know of, is broken, so. We're doing pretty good.
John, I missed the last facilities committee meeting. Were you there?
Yes, I was there.
You should give us an update.
Let me check my notes.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna do that when Tim was talking, we do, so.
I can
I
do a
could-
little dance
Go
while you're
ahead, do your
looking.
dance first and other stuff, and then I'll come back
Do
to
the
me.
police first, and then you,
Right.
Yeah, do you want me to do the police and I'll give you a
Yeah.
second? Okay. Police department was busy last week. The chief was on vacation with her family, so I haven't chatted with her about any updates. And I hope everybody will take a look in the community newsletter, which I hope hit mailboxes today. Commendations were given to Ryan Sylvain and also Lindsay Terry. And there's a little article about their achievements and a picture of them in the Nottingham Community Newsletter. And while John is looking too, I will tell you that the next facilities committee meeting is on Thursday, March 12th. And he'll tell
Is
you what
that-
time, because I don't know.
We didn't actually, we must, I think it's 6:30, I believe. I believe 6:30, but I'm not positive, because
Okay.
it's not written in the minutes.
Okay, let's see. It was.
And we weren't sure if that was good for you or not, because you weren't there. So, our discussion, basically centered around doing some public outreach, regarding the warrant article and moving forward with that
For
stuff.
the police
The
department.
police station. And we started kind of talking about what our next focus would be, and we talked about focusing on things that are like, things that need to be addressed that don't cost a lot of money, kind of. Identifying those things and kind of putting together a punch list.
Could I ask you guys to look at all the town buildings, specifically the ones here in the middle of town, and try to help us think of a plan of what to do with them? The old fire station, the other half of the old town hall, the back half is an SAU, but we got a building that we just sit there, and then we have the other,
The Grange?
the Grange, and then we have the back half of this building,
Right.
we just have a
that's-
lot of things that we're gonna have to start doing something with. We're just square footage.
Right, that's really what the focus would be, to identifying things that
Or at least coming up with fun
Actually-
ideas,
And
something
actually,
to
Right.
do.
we did some of that work
originally.
originally, and so we have some of that, and then we can regroup on that. But I think the idea of moving the police department is kind of step one to that. I really hope people will support that, because it's very fiscally sound. It's the time to do it, and it will help us start to maintain our buildings and.
And it did
Come in.
take priority at this point to
Yep.
get it onto the warrant article for this year.
Yep.
So,
We're kind of renting out one, and then the other one, some people,
No, it's okay.
we half rent, but don't rent during the summertime, 'cause it's not heated. The other one, I think, is only open, twice a year or
Yep.
something? And I mean, that doesn't even really include the fact we have the old schoolhouse. We have several buildings, I don't even know all of them, that,
so the other old schoolhouse, is that the one you're talking about at the town square?
yeah,
So that one is not the town.
Belongs to the DAR.
Right.
The Daughters of the American Revolution own that.
Right, so
Okay.
that one doesn't belong to the town. So, yeah,
Well,
we do
people
have.
are we're always using that, I figured
Right,
we did,
yes.
but that's good to know we don't.
Yeah, but it can fall down.
Right.
No, we don't want it to fall down.
No.
But no, that's something is definitely on
Right, we
the
know
list
that
to
there's some
update.
stuff that probably needs to be done at the old Grange building. That was identified in the past, and kind of need to recheck that and see what we can do, because that's definitely a historic building.
But perhaps the facilities committee can do a little report sooner rather than later, after we regroup and
Right, and I
look at
think,
everything again and.
we wanna do at least ongoing reporting.
Yeah.
You know, as we do things.
Keep it in the,
Wasn't somebody going in the old Grange and give us a overview of what needed to be done to it?
a gentleman, I think Wayne, is his name Thomas, I think is a new
Yes.
member of
With
the
the
Historical
Historical
Society.
We've been looking, exploring.
Yeah, and I believe he was in construction, I think he's retired now, and so he's been looking at some of the things. There's also an initiative that's pretty loose right now to raise private funds to help secure that building since it is historic. And you know, we've talked, y'all know what I wanna do with the old firehouse. So yeah, it's definitely an area.
But that one's a rental income.
At any rate, yeah, I think we should start reporting probably pretty regularly, so yeah.
We had to get past that hump.
Yeah, just get through the election and hope everybody supports us.
Yep, anything else in facilities and police?
Nope.
Ellen, on to the administrator's report.
Sure, where'd I hide it?
What's that?
I said, where did I hide it? Right in front of me.
Would you like mine?
I'll just kind of sub off of a couple of those items. As far as the recycling center, just for anybody that may have visited over the weekend or even for the next couple of days, we lost a hydraulic line on one of the balers, which is the one that processes the cardboard, so things could be a little bit slow there. We did contact Atlantic Recycling, so they'll be out to repair it as soon as they can. It's just, they have other items that they're attending to right now, so I don't know if it's gonna be fixed before they reopen on Thursday or not.
It must have been late Saturday?
Yeah.
I was there Saturday afternoon.
Say I was,
And then we had some issues here at the community center. The first larger issue that has been going on for about 2 weeks is the amount of snow that we had on the roof created some very significant ice dams. So we have a lot of water damage in the ceiling tiles in the gym. So I'm hoping to get those. I'll see if I can get the highway department over here if the weather stays fair to replace some of those before the town election, just because some of them look like they're gonna blow right out. They are starting to dry up, but it looks awful.
Yeah.
I did have Gary Anderson come over and assess the roof just to make sure that it wasn't an issue, but I think he did come to the consensus that it is because of the significant ice dams, so we had to do some ice melt application just to get some of those to clear up, but it flowed forward into the new recreation space as well, so down that exterior wall where their printer station is, it was it actually leaked into the carpet and everything. It was just pouring down the wall, so it's now dried out, and we're hoping that now that the ice is off the roof, that there will be no further buildup for the rest of the season, but it is one of those things that is a challenge, especially with the operating budget. Number one, not having a facilities person to kind of make sure that these things are taking place. It's just, okay, we have an issue and, you know, fix it, find out who can shovel it as soon as possible, but we also didn't realize the volume of the ice that had built up there, so, you know, lesson learned unfortunately, but it was also a very challenging winter.
Right.
And I can't really say was because we're still there, but I'm hoping with the warmer weather and there won't be much more accumulation, so. So that takes care of like the issues. For general announcements, the town report, which also includes the school report on the backside of it, those arrived this morning in print format, so we have a couple copies up there if you would like to grab one, and they'll be available at the town office, at both post offices. I think I got them to Nottingham, we'll get them to West Nottingham tomorrow. And then they're usually available at the library, and we're gonna seek out liars and see if we can get permission to put them there as we have in the past. But again, the electronic version's also available on the town website for those who prefer. The voting day, just for a general announcement, I know we've said it multiple times, but the school warrant that went out, the original one went out with the voting or the polling location being at the school. So town voting and school voting, which is the same day, one and the same, is going to take place here at the community center gym. And that will be from 7 in the morning until 7 p.m. I did create a voter's guide. It's been you actually had a very short month of meetings in February, so we haven't actually had a chance to get to discuss yet, but I did put together a voter's guide. It's interactive. You can go through and click for further information on top of the information that I did provide regarding all the warrant articles and So that's available. I'm gonna try to get it formatted so we can put it on channel 22 for those people that actually view the slides on there when there isn't an active meeting. Also, election related, they will be testing the ballot machine tomorrow at 9 AM, and it's going to take place here in this meeting room. For anybody, the public is welcome to attend. The town administrator position has been posted on the town website and through New Hampshire Municipal Association. And it's also being advertised more broadly by MRI. I'm not really sure what they use for resources. I think they obviously have it on their website, and I believe it goes into the Union Leader as our local publication, but I'm sure they have plenty of resources. But that has been posted. The 14th annual Raid Rockingham bicycle ride is scheduled for Sunday, June 7th. So that obviously goes through the county, but it has a stopping point at the DAR building in the square. That's usually a place. It's the Raid Rockingham bicycle ride.
Well, what the date was?
June 7th.
Sunday, June 7th.
7th.
And
That
they're,
goes by 9, that's a big watering spot on Nottingham Square.
yes, yep. They anticipate about the same number of riders, which was 450 last year, so just be prepared for that. There's always signage in place, and they put out plenty of communication ahead of time. The police department's well aware. And under the police department, Officer Seth Cornell has announced his departure. He will be joining another department here in the very near future. Chief Woodman has the full-time officer position actively advertised both on their portion of the website. I think she's gone out to Facebook, and she's sourcing out some other opportunities for advertising to find maybe a candidate that is already certified. So we'll hope for the best for that. For action items this evening, you will be doing a tax collector's recommittal audit agreement with Plozak and Sanderson. Whenever there is a change in the tax collect position, you have to do a recommittal audit, and it pretty much certifies her records so that the next person can take over. So that will be scheduled for March 11th and 12th. It will probably take a day, but they've prepared for 2 just in case. Tracy Black, our present tax collector, will have to prepare some reports, and they'll just go through and make sure that everything is at a clean slate for whomever should take over that role after the election.
Is
And-
anyone
and
applying
hopefully-
for that job?
There's nobody on the ballot. It is still open for write-ins. So anybody that has any interest, please start your candidacy
Yeah.
now.
Plenty of time to campaign.
Plenty of time. Also, this evening, you will be acting on phase 2 of the Mitchell Road subdivision owned by Bob DeBerto. And I will be requesting a motion to approve the performance bond for the portion of work that is remaining to be completed for this phase. He does have an active performance bond posted for phase 1, which includes Captain Smith, which is the main horseshoe portion from Mitchell Road to Mitchell Road. And then Lipizan is the little offshoot that eventually carries into Barrington. So the amount of that is $272,200, and that's based on an estimate provided by his contractor for the work that's left off of the original statement of values that he provided last May.
Did we get an estimate from our engineer on that?
We did last May for the work to be completed, and then this is just they've completed quite a bit of it off, so this is like the remaining task items.
So our engineering one included this?
Correct. Yeah, so so I think originally we were at like 460, actually I have the folder right here. For that phase of the project, we were at it was $456,776, and he's completed work since
Right, but
this was completed in
did
May.
our engineer sign off on it?
I can certainly have them look at it,
Cause
make sure.
that's really, the important part is to say, okay, they've done that much.
They are
Fair
still
enough.
doing regular status reports on it, so I'll run it by. I just got the estimate, actually it was just before we would have met last Monday, so I can forward it over to Josh at CMA and just make sure it's in line.
Yeah, cause we make sure that CMA basically agrees to the amount before we approve it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so I will forward that off.
What's CMA?
CMA is the town's engineer. And I provided you, actually, at the last meeting, I had mentioned that there were some expenditures made in the fourth quarter of 2025 for general repairs and maintenance, that would be a request for withdrawal from the town building maintenance expendable trust fund, just so it wasn't hitting the operating budget. And I've given you a report of what those expenditures were from the various line items. Total was $14,705.16. The largest portion of that was for one of the furnace replacements at the Blaisdell Library, which you had approved to move forward with, but we never actually approved the withdrawal from the expendable trust fund. So I'll be looking for a motion for that.
Do you want that now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we might as well get it off.
alright. I'll make a motion to do the fund transfer from the building maintenance expendable trust in the amount of $14,705.16 for general repairs and maintenance conducted in multiple town buildings during fourth quarter 2025.
Second that?
Motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you. And then also for action item, we had White Mountain Audio Visual come out and do the microphone setup, the audio system setup for the deliberative session. And then he also did the recording of it. We've had a vendor in the past do it, but it was significantly more expensive. Last year we did it on our own using our equipment, but I had a very techie person, Doug Cummins, who was very generous with his time to be able to assist and make sure that went off without a hitch. We did have some technical delays with the recording and even the live feed for those that were trying to view from home. So I didn't want to re-experience that, and I also didn't want to have to try to tackle the techie portion on my own. So we did contract it out to White Mountain Audio Visual. It was $2,465.
They did a
And-
great job.
He did a wonderful job, and even the recording, like the audio is so crisp. So that would actually qualify for an expenditure under our cable franchise fund. And I would like to request a withdrawal from that
Alright.
to cover that expenditure.
I will make a motion to withdraw $2,465 from the cable franchise fund to pay for the sound setup and services and audio visual recording for the town deliberative session, which was held on January 31st, 2026.
Second that?
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
While we're in there, do we just wanna make a motion for the tax collector recommittal audit agreement as well?
Oh, sure. I will make a motion to have an agreement with Plodsnick and Sanderson to complete the tax collector's recommittal audit in March.
And I will second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Alright, I will try to get through my correspondence real quick for your public hearing. I did receive the special events license application from for the Northeast Watercross events that are gonna be held this year. I've circulated off to the respective department heads for any conditional requirements and asked that they have any feedback back to you by the Friday prior to your next meeting, which will be on March 16th. So that will go on as an agenda item for you to address.
Last year, we asked them to do one for each event.
And they did do one for
Okay.
each. Yep.
Just wanna make sure that.
They've also set up a separate, I think there's like a separate board of directors rather than just Tammy DeFrancesco and I can't remember the other gentleman's name off the top of my head, so. But that will be on your next agenda. February 25th, we received an email from Colin Lentz, who is our Stratford Regional Planning Commission. screwed up my acronym there. Principal Transportation Planner, and it's regarding the Northwood Nottingham project for Route 4, 152 in Cooper Hill. So that still hasn't made its way onto the 10-year, but there is progress. There's more money being funded towards the project, so we'll see when that happens.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the two different breakdowns of it, because it
Yeah.
seemed like a lot of it was labeled the same, but different amounts of money.
Yes.
Either way, it's a lot of money to be spent for planning because there's
Right.
no construction
Right,
happening in the next
there's no
couple of years.
construction on it.
And there's still a lot of things that need to be addressed as you get further into Northwood as well as southbound, so they need to look at the large picture. But they do stay in contact, which is wonderful, just nothing really newsworthy to report at this point. I'm not even gonna attempt this next gentleman's last name,
Spedalun's?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Another New Hampshire DOT contact regarding the road safety audit that Owen Friend Gray had initiated for Ledge Farm, Deerfield, and 156. He is looking for your thoughts as to whether or not you would like to move forward with a proposed four-way stop at that
Is
intersection.
that the same gentleman that presented?
It's not the same gentleman. Bill Lambert was the engineer that came out and presented for New Hampshire DOT. This is another person that works within New Hampshire DOT, but I think what they're trying to do is get the towns that they have kind of allocated towards this on board, whether or not we want to, or if they're gonna move on to the next. So I don't know, based on the feedback that we received from the chief.
That's what it seemed
think
like,
we
that
had
we were
everybody
not.
here.
in
I'm not in
favor.
favor of it. I
Yeah.
don't mind putting a flashing sign. 156 or Raymond side of 156 saying dangerous intersection. But that's about as far as
Yeah,
I'd wanna go with it.
I wouldn't want a four-way stop there, and Chief Woodman said there's a lot more other places that are more dangerous than that.
Right.
That being said, it doesn't mean that we can't take care of a dangerous intersection because there's other ones that should be addressed, but I know what you're saying. I mean, he was very convincing on his stats about why it would make sense and the safety results of some of the recent projects they've done with the four-way stops, but
He was just saying, like, if you're gonna do anything, do the four-way stop, but he said his data didn't really correlate it necessarily being high risk, that he looked at it.
Right.
And, I mean, I feel strong for it. I've definitely gone through there and it is, a dangerous intersection in terms of it's low visibility coming up and then all of a sudden like, oh, there's an intersection here, but the amount of traffic there is still pretty low to impede the flow of the major route for traffic.
I was
Right,
for the four-way stop sign, but I think you kind of convinced me that the hills coming up would cause more of a problem, having traffic backed up there.
Yeah,
So
I,
I changed my mind and think it's probably not the best idea. But maybe there should be some sort of sign warning that there's a dangerous intersection, I don't know.
So maybe just a response back that we're not in favor of moving forward with a
but asking
four-way
if there's
stop,
other,
but if there is an option, okay. So a flashing light,
No.
sign.
like a flashing
Flashing
sign,
sign,
like
not
dangerous
on the
intersection
square, but-
ahead.
Down, approaching it, right?
Approaching it.
Okay. Next email was February 19th from Lori Anderson, our town clerk. It was related to an administrative complaint and it's regarding how things are handled when she has a registration that the funds aren't able to clear. I mean, formerly it was, a bounce check, you go after, collect the bank fees plus administrative fees, but now with the online payment system, it's a little bit different of a scenario, so
I just don't understand how an ACH can get accepted and then the registration gets sent out and then you find out later that
the ACH didn't go
Yeah.
through.
right,
Yeah.
that's what
What's an ACH?
automatic clearinghouse transaction, so it's a bank, electronic bank draft essentially.
So why would they
Credit card
approve
payment.
it? Yeah, yeah.
It just doesn't make
yeah.
sense to me, but
I thought that problem was eliminated if you
But I-
did the ACH.
I don't know, I think the board should discuss at some point how to fix that, because the state will not do anything. The state does it
Right,
for
that's-
checks.
That's the whole problem, is the state takes care of the check part,
Right.
and they don't take care of the ACH. But like you said, the ACH should be automatic and not have a,
Yeah.
Right.
so something's
And is
wrong
that
with
a
that
problem?
process.
Right, because you're just gonna have more and more ACH
Or is it
transactions
strictly-
time goes on.
Bounce checks.
Right,
Where is
maybe,
the
then
issue?
maybe it doesn't happen because it actually does get checked. So she said that there weren't any, she had no records, right? For them being bounced in the ACHs?
No, she doesn't receive it until the next day from our third party. That it didn't clear.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
the assumption is that when she gets the transaction posting, it's that everything's good to go, so they initiate registration, and then it's like the next
So,
day, oh
yeah,
yeah,
when
by
I
the
was,
way.
when I was reading her email, it sounded to me like she didn't have any ACHs that actually
Yeah.
didn't clear.
Right.
Why don't it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll pull up the
Right.
email.
Pause on that one.
Yep. We do have a public hearing scheduled for 7 p.m. The Nottingham Select Board will hold a public hearing pursuant to RSA 31:95-B on Monday, March 2nd, rescheduled from February 23rd at 7 p.m. at the Nottingham Town Offices, 139 Stage Road, Nottingham, New Hampshire, to consider the acceptance and expenditure of unanticipated grant funds in the amount of $910,000 with a required $76,000 local match for the Reservation Road Restoration Project. The project will replace an undersized culvert to improve aquatic habitat connectivity, reduce wildlife road mortality, improve safety, and reduce flooding impacts. I believe we have some esteemed members of the Conservation Commission here.
Thank you, Select Board. My name is Drew Stevens. I'm a resident of Nottingham, a member of the Conservation Commission, and Vice Chair of the Planning Board. I'm also a wildlife rehabilitator licensed in New Hampshire and the founder and president of New Hampshire Turtle Rescue, a nonprofit public charity that specializes in native turtle care and conservation. I have here with me Sandy Houghton from New Hampshire Fish and Game, who has been a partner with us throughout this project. So I'm going to explain a little bit more about what's going on here. So the Reservation Road Restoration Project began in early 2024 to replace a defunct culvert on Reservation Road between Round Pond Road and Tower Road. The project is designed to improve aquatic habitat connectivity, reduce roadkill mortality for at-risk wildlife, improve safety, and reduce flooding. The current culvert is a round corrugated pipe which is partially submerged, screened with a metal grating at the inlet, and frequently clogged with debris. It does not provide adequate wildlife passage, and road mortality of mammals, reptiles, and amphibians has been documented at the site. In New Hampshire, 4 of our 7 native turtle species are listed as being at risk of extinction. Habitat fragmentation and resulting road mortality are among the most significant causes of their decline. The critically endangered Blanding's turtle, for example, depends on a relatively small number of extremely long-lived individuals to sustain its populations. Research shows that losing even a single adult male or female every 5 years is enough to drive a local population to extinction. This context is especially important because the culvert location lies within one of the state's core priority areas for Blanding's turtles. The Pawtuckaway region is, in fact, the highest priority conservation area for the species in the entire Northeast due to the pristine habitat still present there. Since COVID, Reservation Road has seen increased vehicular traffic from hikers, climbers, fishers, and other recreationists, significantly elevating the threat to wildlife whose habitat is bisected by this road. The restoration project proposes installing a new dry passage culvert that follows design guidance published by the University of New Hampshire and New Hampshire Fish and Game in late 2023. The structure will allow wildlife to move safely beneath the road and reconnect critical habitat for small mammals, amphibians, fish, and threatened and endangered reptiles. The conceptual design includes a 10-foot wide by 4-foot high dry passage culvert with natural substrate, as well as fencing or guide walls along approximately 200 feet of roadway within the wildlife crossing hotspot. The final restoration design will include an appropriately sized underpass and barriers at least 2 feet high to keep smaller wildlife off the road and guide them towards the underpass structure that ensures safe passage and habitat continuity. This project was first submitted in March 2024 as a pre-proposal for a competitive grant through the America the Beautiful Act and was awarded funding in early 2025. It has since moved through the federal and state review processes and is now ready for acceptance by the town. The grant award is for $910,000 and requires a $2,100 non-federal cash match from the town. In-kind services such as engineering design, project planning, implementation, reporting, and administration will make up the remaining $73,900 of the town's matching obligation. Once funds are approved, design and permitting will begin immediately, with restoration work estimated to begin in September of this year and be fully completed by March of 2029. The Nottingham Conservation Commission and New Hampshire Fish and Game have worked extensively for multiple years to secure this grant. I urge the Select Board to approve the acceptance of these unanticipated funds so that we can make our roads safer, mitigate flood risks, and continue to be excellent stewards of the unique natural resources we are so fortunate to have here in Nottingham. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think you originally had presented this, it was 2024.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
probably
I couldn't
somewhere in the
remember.
middle
I
of
thought it was last year, but
2024.
it was 20.
Time flies.
It does. Any questions?
No, I think
No,
answered them
there's-
all previously that
Right.
when they were in here a couple of years
That
ago.
was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
And I mean, this says March 29, but per the timeline, you expect this, it says it's task 1 and 2 are completed, they get started on the project, this could actually wrap up in earlier.
It's 2029 includes us, like the state will monitor the site to see the effectiveness, cause these are novel for New Hampshire, but they've been effective elsewhere, so it's kind of
Yep.
more interesting.
When we say the approval of this, do we have to specify the cash amount we're doing, or we just, because it's coming out of a fund, or do we just say?
There is no cash coming out of the fund.
Right.
It's
in-kind
in-kind
service.
donation.
Services.
There's $2,100,
Oh, from the conservation that they had pledged, correct?
Oh,
but
okay.
we still have to approve the money that comes out of
But
it.
that they do, that's not a
their
fund
own
under your control, it's under the control of the Conservation Commission, and they've already, I believe you've already voted on that, correct?
I believe so. We should double check, but I think that vote has happened. Yeah.
Okay, I thought we
Okay,
still had
good.
to approve that.
I
Yeah,
think
whatever.
I think you're autonomous.
So the only thing that we need to vote on is the acceptance of an expenditure of unanticipated grant funds.
And technically authorizing the highway department and whomever else
To do the
to do that.
in-kind stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any comments from the public on it?
Yeah, that's right.
Anybody have anything to say?
Purpose of the-
Of the hearing, you would think so.
No, alright. I wrote a
Can I respond directly to the public?
to-
I know that, so the question was whether or not there would be road closures.
Yeah,
Or
Robin,
just-
could you just state your name and address? Thank you.
My understanding from the road agent is that there might be, but it would be minimal. And a lot of the work would be, I think, scheduled to happen during winter months if possible, just because that is when the turtles aren't, the wildlife and, endangered turtles aren't active in the area either. But I guess that's all kind of to be determined.
Right, cause there is a resident down there.
Yeah, right. There's a farm at the end of
Right,
Reservation
so it would
Road.
have to obviously be coordinated with them.
Yep,
Um,
road agent has already
He was aware
stated
of,
that there need to be coordination with that resident at the end of the road if there were to be road closure or major road work because they're bringing, horse carriers, what are they called?
mhm,
Larger vehicles down that.
yep.
Yep.
then although depending on the time of the year, it's between Reservation and Tower Road.
It's between Round Pond
I mean,
Road
sorry,
and
between
Tower
Round
Road.
Pond and
Yeah.
Tower Road.
Yep.
They, depending on the time of the year, they could go through that fire lane in an emergency. So,
I think he did mention that, yeah.
so that's actually good.
So the time frame for this is to be completed in March of 2029.
Yeah, but some of that, so the actual restoration work should be completed probably in 2028. But part of the project is monitoring afterwards to, observe effectiveness. So that would take, how long does that typically take, Sandy?
It would be like one active season for turtles that we would wanna monitor, but yeah, so we had a little trouble because it's a little hard to estimate the timeline. And so we have a 4-year grant period, so there's some flex, like with getting all your permits in line and that sort of thing. So it could be in 2027 or 2028 that construction would occur, like the on the ground getting the culvert in sort of construction, but we left the flexibility there, given that or supply shortages, a lot of things could delay, but
How do you monitor?
there's actually some really cool cameras that have like a little ramp that as the animals walk over, they use them in the Moncton crossing in Vermont. You can see some videos online, but it triggers, it basically, there's a laser line above it that gets triggered and then you can get a video of them going through. It's really quite cool to see.
What's that?
Put out a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Similar.
Any more public comment? Questions? So then we just need to make a vote on the acceptance and the expenditure of the unanticipated grant funds. The amount of $910,000.
Alright. I will make a motion to accept the grant in the amount of $910,000 with a matching amount of $76,000 coming from already expended cash outlay and matching in-kind services.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Oh,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
got a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is closed. So we were talking about the fees.
Yes, we are. And I brought up Lori's email,
Mhm.
so I could.
Eye on this one, I don't see it.
Hmm?
Don't see it.
The date.
I'm looking at the date, I don't have anything in that area.
So
Ellen or?
what she
No, it's-
said,
Well, she forwarded from Lori.
Right, but it was from Ellen.
yeah, it was one that said contact, or I think it came to the
Select board mailbox.
select box mailbox and then I distributed it further. She says we have when a check does not clear, we're notified by the bank, but not in the case of ACH transactions. We're notified by Interware, which is their software company, in a report each morning of all funds collected or not collected. We have a standard letter sent to customers in order to collect unpaid funds. This letter outlines acceptable forms of payment. These include cash, certified check, or money order. We can adjust the letter for ACH transactions that do not clear by removing the statement that it will be referred to the DMV if unpaid. If the customer does not come in to pay after 2 weeks, we refer to the police department that then notifies the customers as to what they need to do. And then it just goes on to talk about the how they have to reverse the transaction for each vehicle out of their general ledger, composed the letter, including the total of fees, just the time-consuming portion of it. And in the past, not more recently, but the prior treasurer used to actually put the customer on notice that future transactions would have to be made by cash. So I think what we really need to do is probably just implement a policy that orders, like what happens in the scenario, because they're not as clear as the wellness check process.
We need just a different provider that's more,
I think it's
no,
provided by the state, right?
Well, Interware is our
it's who we
It's our
use.
town clerk
That's what we
software.
use, yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ones, but it's probably one of the larger ones used throughout the state.
Okay, I feel like there are ones that are relatively instantaneous, like
Well,
that
and I
charge
mean,
didn't go through.
maybe we need to reach out to the company or other towns that use them and say, how do you handle your ACH that maybe there needs to be like a clearing time
Yes, just wait.
before processing.
Mr. Chairman,
There's an elderly gentleman in the back row that would like to talk.
there's a white-haired guy in the back.
Mr. Moran,
How many transactions have actually failed?
name and address.
John Moore, 4 White Grove,
Thank
Nottingham. How
Uh,
many transactions? Are we talking 5? We talking 30? We talking, is this a
Okay.
significant amount where it's costing the town like $5,000 or is this something that's costing us $100?
it just says an uptick, and I think it's more of, even if it was 7 or 8, the amount of time that it takes to spend on the 1, in the 2, in the 3, in the 4. That's the point I'm getting from her.
And it's also coming through from a lot of municipal clerks throughout the state. So even though it might not be as prevalent here in Nottingham, there is the potential for it. So it's cleaning up the process.
And the state handles it different, where they take care of a failed check. They don't deal with these.
So let's just have a policy in place. We need to come up with a policy and,
Right.
We need a copy of policy.
yeah, exactly.
It should be,
Don't need to reinvent the wheel.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like we have some pieces missing here that we don't know yet, that,
Like the total fees.
right, how to, what kind of recommendation is there, it's,
Right, what is the fee when they have insufficient funds? What's it cost us to resubmit it? Can you resubmit it? Can you pay a larger fee for quicker service?
right, talking to these people that interware, whatever it was.
So I think we need to do a little more homework and then come back to this.
Did Lori have any, I sort of got the impression she was saying go to cash only after a failed transaction. But
Mhm.
I wonder where she deals with this all the time.
Well, she can't remember the last time she was saying she couldn't remember the last time this had happened as far as like
Yeah,
the
that's-
treasurer ordering cash payment from here forward. That's the way that I read it.
But she can't, that's kind of what I was getting at, that maybe it doesn't
Not
happen
that
at
it
all.
hasn't happened often, it's just that our current treasurer doesn't follow that same process is the way that I understood it.
That's
I
what
could
I
be
understood.
mistaken.
I understand we've received a fair amount of bounced checks. Been a little bit of an uptick on that, but as long as we got a process in place for that.
If she can just give us maybe more info to go with this,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then see if any other towns have a specific thing they want.
So I will put it
Do you
on.
think she would just come to chat with us?
I'm sure she would.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's invite her.
Okay.
I'll give her cookies. I value her opinion and she's the one who's dealing with it.
Right,
Absolutely.
All right. I will request that she comes to your next meeting. All right, so moving on to next piece of correspondence, Jay Vilchok emails regarding with a memo line immediate compliance required, New Hampshire RSA 91A request, and that goes back to an original request from December. So we had multiple emails from him on February 3rd, February 4th, and 2 on February 12th. I think you've been copied on all responses. February 10th, Nick Brown, who is
I
from
would
Governor Sheen.
just like to say to the email request, cause it was after our last meeting. And I'm not gonna speak for you, Charlotte,
That's right.
but I think the intent of the select board is to comply with all 91A requests and make sure that the town administrator does that as well, and we're not here to prevent that from happening at all. We may have an opinion that, you know, we feel that sometimes the requests can be laborious and some of the requests don't even comply with 91A, like requesting notes, phone calls, thoughts. That's not a government document. So I think that, and again, I don't wanna speak for you, Charlotte, but in my opinion, that's the piece that becomes laborious, because then you have to involve the attorneys, which costs money, to review
What is it, what it's called, 911?
91A, a right to know request,
Sunshine.
What is that?
a right to know request for government documents. So in my opinion, again, the select board has never, since I've been on the select board, impeded with any type of 91A request.
Absolutely not. And I think I made it very clear last time, and I looked at the film from our last meeting, and I said how very important the 91A sunshine laws are. And to try to keep to the spirit and intent of them. And you know, it is disturbing when you start to see a pattern that doesn't seem to be following the intent of that very important law.
Anybody else? No. Very good.
Move on.
All right, February 10th, Nick Brown from Governor Sheehan's office emailed, there is now an open application period for fiscal year 2027 congressionally directed spending requests. The deadline for applications is this Friday, March 6th, and I believe you spoke about this at the planning board, was it?
Oh, that's that thing?
Yes, that's that thing.
Do tell.
Oh, God. Cause I was like reading this email, like, what the heck is it? The Governor Shaheen, wait. So the thing that I talked about was, yeah, it was
They're
somebody,
presented on it, right?
right, Blair presented it to us at planning board about getting, just getting on the list, and I talked about, right, so I talked.
Okay, so that was actually the Regional Economic Development
Okay.
Center, CEDS
Yeah.
priority project list.
Yeah,
Alright, so I wasn't sure
So-
if,
it's not this one, right?
No.
It's different, it's
This
Should
different.
be
is
Okay.
Senator Shaheen, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right,
say.
and that's what I'm gonna say, is this supposed
Oh
to
my
be
God,
Senator
the
She
Shaheen?
got promoted, yeah.
Like, she hasn't been governor in like,
Well, I know it's been a busy Monday, but I haven't been caught up with the news.
when was she governor?
Yes.
Oh, more than that, I.
Seems like yesterday.
yes, so this one. There's a copy of it there in the
Okay,
correspondence
cause there was
folder.
no, I couldn't find an email on this. So it wasn't that other thing, okay.
So CDS requests may be made for the following bills: agricultural, rural development, food and drug administration and related agencies, commerce, justice, science and related agencies, energy and water development related agencies, financial services and general government, homeland security, interior, environment and related agencies, labor, health and human services, education related agencies, military construction, veterans affairs related agencies, and then transportation, housing and urban development and related agencies. So very broad. And there was a New Hampshire Municipal Association training offered on February 19th. I could go back and get it to see if there's anything specific that the town may qualify, but given the short window of application, I don't know that this
I guess the thing that's.
would have been nice to address last week.
Right, I guess the
Yeah,
thing that's
meeting.
important is we wanna probably get some of these out front for us for next year,
Yeah, yeah.
but
This is big money
how do we
dollars.
do that?
Yeah, so like when community facilities grants, funding up to 75% of total project costs, it was one of them.
Nice.
Yeah, that would have been really nice.
Let's earmark that for.
Can we get,
Once we know what the police station looks like,
right,
that's when you'd want the funding for that, so it's still early
so
for
we
that.
can't, yeah, we have to get past where we are first, so.
And that would be part of the next
But some of those
phase.
transportation ones have hidden like extra funds for, you know, new or modernized trucks or stuff like that, that we've been talking about trying to like do the container
yeah.
truck or stuff like, you know what I mean? Like there's,
Right.
one was a,
The diesel,
that was a follow-up from like a different lawsuit thing that we were looking at, but there might be additional ones to just try to improve whatever. And some of the Homeland Security stuff might just have things that between police and fire can use,
yeah, no,
communication
that's a
stuff
great
and-
place that would
Yeah.
have things like that.
We need a giant calendar of grants.
There is,
Can you actually
there is
forward
somebody
that?
with Rockingham County,
Can you
yes.
actually forward that to us?
Yep.
Please.
Is the deadline March sixth or
It is, the application deadline is March sixth.
But
I'll take a look and see how extensive
what-
it is.
see if there's something for next year.
Or if there's a prelim
Right.
application, maybe we could throw that together. An application to apply. I feel like maybe there is.
Yeah, but if you wouldn't mind sharing the email with the links, that'd be great.
Yeah. On February 8th, we received the professional service agreement with MRI for the recruitment of the town administrator. And just for public announcement, that agreement was signed on February 8th by Chairman DeBrio as he was authorized in the prior meeting.
I thought somebody said I could.
You leave it?
January 29th,
Whose initials you put,
I'm sorry?
you said some initials.
MRI, Municipal Resources Incorporated.
That's where you go in that little tunnel thing, Steve.
A letter dated January 29th came in from Ben LaFond, who is our supervisor with the Municipal and Property Division at the New Hampshire Department of Revenue. And it was regarding the review of the 2025 USPAP report, stating that it was in compliance. So this was the report of the recent reevaluation that took place in 2025. So we are in compliant. That report, for anybody that is interested, is available in print to review in the town office, and it's also on the town website. And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Any questions at all? On to, I'll go back up to assessing. There's a few assessing items.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the solar exemption for map 1, lot 70-A.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And a motion for the solar exemption on map 4, lot 18-13.
It's gonna be, you have to be clear whether or not you want to approve them or deny them
Yeah,
for this meeting,
I
so.
got the two there.
I just,
We will approve. Motion to approve that.
So good.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Aye. Motion carries.
Motion to approve the service-connected total disability tax credit for map 4, lot 16-1-1.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Motion to approve service-connected total disability tax credit for map 5, lot 10-47.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Motion carries.
Motion to approve veterans tax credit, map 23, lot 10-5.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And a motion to approve all veterans tax credit for map 25, lot 14-22.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And a
These
motion.
next two are the no's.
I was gonna say, where are the negatives?
Yeah.
Motion not to accept the elderly exemption for map 7, lot 6.
Second.
Motion and a second, Ellen, I don't know, we don't see any of the, I guess, backup documentation, but I don't know if in the election, if that gets approved, the expansion for income, if this person would have been accepted, but would there be an outreach to the
Right, it
person?
would be effective, so it would be April first, so we
Right.
would just ask them to come back out and reapply.
Right,
But he's saying will Chad do that?
No, they would have to apply again, well,
We don't
If-
know what the barrier
Right.
difference is between what they've applied for and what we're moving.
so actually, no, because I think this applicant in particular exceeded the income limitation, we did not adjust the income
oh, it's just the
amounts
property
for,
tax value.
it was just the exemption amount.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have a
There's a motion and a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And a motion to not accept the veterans tax credit for map 1. Not approve, okay. Veterans tax credit for map 1, lot 70-A.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Alright,
What's that other one? How do we say it?
Um,
I was looking for it. I don't.
all right, so a sample exemption, or would be to accept, or to approve an abatement for the following properties, list them out.
Awesome. I just wanna read it quickly.
And the basis behind them is either
we
they
just read?
overpaid on the first half, or there was some change that caused them to have a negative tax bill for the
Okay.
second half.
A number of them are Cedar Waters that did not actually have a building on it that was taxed for the building.
Alright, so just read it out. Attached, please find the abatements for properties that received negative tax bills as a result of value adjustments made during the 2025 reevaluation. And the majority of these cases, the negative balances stem from changes to current use rates as well as the updated equalization process. A number of the affected parcels are located within Cedar Waters. These properties were first issue tax bills. However, subsequent field review and information provided by the building department confirmed that no structures were present on those parcels. As a result, the assessed values were adjusted accordingly, leading to the abatements included with this correspondence. Please review the attached abatements at your convenience. This is now our convenience. Alright. And so you just want,
You could do it in one motion, just list them all out
Yeah,
by map and lot.
and then if there's a sub, it'll be 23 and it would be 2-12, is that how that works? Or how does subs work? Some of them have a sub number.
Yep, so it'd be, yeah, it would be lot.
I'll just
lot
read it
number
out
dash
as.
12.
Alright, I make a motion to approve the abatements for the following lots. Map 70, lot 97. Map 1, lot 6. Map 1, lot 162. Map 1, lot 167. Map 23, lot 2, sub 112. Map 23, lot 2, sub 18. Map 52, lot 4, sub 2-3. Map 22, lot 3. Map 10, lot 1. Map 20, lot 10. Map 21, lot 1. Map 28, lot 1. Map 71, lot 28. Map 23, lot 2, sub 143.
Second.
Got a motion with a bunch and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Matt, I total 14, is that right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You are correct.
Thank you. That's all right, you get time and a half for that one.
Yeah, seriously.
So that wraps it up for assessing.
We haven't started the meeting yet, we should probably announce that the 7:15 is postponed to your next meeting.
Oh, yes. We did have a 7:15 appointment for the Friends of Blaisdell Library to talk about Oktoberfest in September, which come to realize that that's how it's done.
You're celebrating the
I
upcoming
didn't
October.
realize it, but okay. But they're gonna be coming to the next meeting. On to general business. We're going to table the subdivision performance bond till the next meeting once we get more information from the engineering company. Town Beach. I know that obviously the budget plays a big role into how the select board's gonna move forward with some of the items we had discussed in the budget.
Charlotte requested
Yeah,
this
I
as an
requested it. I was hoping to move this along since it's 12 weeks until Memorial Day. And I was hoping to get going on this. I just wanted to point out too, that if this were an easy thing to tackle, it probably would have been done sometime in the last 60 years. But this has been kind of, the whole access issue has been kicked down the road. But I'd like to see things resolved as soon as possible. I'd like to point out too that the rules for the town beach about the hours, not having dogs, boats, alcohol were put in place over the years by the town, not the landowners. The gate was installed by the town, and that was to help control behaviors at the town beach. And the landowners gave permission at that time.
The deed is on private property.
Excuse me?
The deed is on private.
That's correct, yeah, yeah. And at that time, and I'm not sure of the date of that, the gate's been there for a while, it was for the town to control liability issues and unlawful behaviors by keeping people out. I also like to point out that the state's quitclaim deed to the beach was restrictive to recreational use only, but that didn't require that the beach has to be used for recreation, only that, for example, a sawmill could be put there. But it's very nice that we have it for recreation. And finally, the original beach trail may not have been where it currently is now. It may have started further up Deerfield Hill. I really feel that the town needs to manage the beach if it wants to be successful in protecting this asset. But it takes some financial resources to do that. And as I'm speaking only for myself, as one select board member, I get mixed messages from citizens. They want to maintain the beach, have it open, as I do, have legal research, surveys, buy or sue for access, and yet don't raise any tax dollars or spend tax dollars. And I hear over and over again that we need to spend money on needs, not wants. So it's a mixed message from the public, for me. Some of the ideas that I had were to save some money, were to reduce the hours that the beach is open. Perhaps only have it open on weekends until mid-June or until school is out. To have a gatekeeper's box at the entrance. Have a gatekeeper during all open days or hours. Close the gate on days with rain when it's predicted for the majority of the day. Set up 2 solar cameras pointing towards the beach and the entry to the dam bridge. I've just been introduced to the Reveal app. Maybe some of you are used to it. I was not. It's costs about $10 per camera per month, and it will ping when there's a hit of somebody doing something they shouldn't, and that could be monitored by the gatekeeper so that they would be able to have some idea of what was going on down at the beach as well. Also the idea of selling a separate beach sticker at the town offices for parking. and to enforce the rules that the town itself has set about parking, alcohol, dogs, use of the access trail, et cetera. I also think there's an opportunity possibly coming up to engage the state in some corrective action at the dam. They're going to be rebuilding the dam, we believe, as long as the state has the money over the next year or two. And it might be a good opportunity for us to work with the state to protect the dam, which at this point I don't think has, it had some signage about you weren't supposed to cross the dam, it was dangerous, and yet there's nothing really there. My understanding is the dam belongs to the state. The town the dam is on, the land that the dam is on belongs to the town. The surrounding area belongs to private landowners, and the beach itself belongs to the town. It's complicated. There's a lot to do. And I'm very fearful, I think, I don't know how the amount of $85,000 came up on the recent article that was petitioned to come up for vote. But I feel that's very unrealistically low. I feel we'd be wasting our money. My feeling would be to try to come to an agreement for what is basically a free privilege right now, but to maintain the beach the way it used to be maintained as much as we possibly can. And to do that, we need financial resources. So, throw that out there. I'd be interested in anybody's opinion. It would be nice to keep the beach open. We know it's in all likelihood gonna be closed for a year, within the next year or two, due to no one's fault. And I'd like to keep it open until then.
Or there'll be more beach frontage.
Or there'll be a lot more beach frontage, right, exactly.
Really far away.
And sadly, as someone asked me today, well, that will, by draining Pawtuckaway to rebuild these dams, won't that solve the milfoil problem? But apparently, we've been told by the scientists, not at all. Right?
No, but.
Sadly.
I guess from the floor, why don't you develop a commission for the town beach?
Why don't I?
No.
Well, that's an idea. Apparently at one time, it's mentioned in some old notes. I've been doing a lot of research, and there was mention of a recreation commission. We now have a Friends of Recreation, but it, make some decisions and they may not be to everybody's liking, but I'm hopeful that the town will approve our budget and that we can go ahead and have the beach properly taken care of. And it does take some financial resources to do that.
Just mention how it used to be maintained and how it's not.
Sure, there were lifeguards there, porta potty.
Still porta potties there.
Well, there might not be if there isn't the money for it, right? Yeah, a shed was built there. There were more picnic tables, but some of them were vandalized. I believe there was a lifeguard chair. Maybe Courtney can
That's
help
still in
me
the shed.
out
It's in the
as well.
shed.
Oh, it's in the shed. Oh, there
Yep,
you
you
go.
just hide it now.
Oh, very good, yeah.
It ends up in the water more often.
That's what I understand.
So the only maintenance was a lifeguard. The only old maintenance was.
No, apparently it was replenished with sand as well from time to time, because I think now there's quite a bit of grass growing there as well.
Pawtuckaway Lake Association.
There was trash there as well.
At one point, the PLA cleared out all.
They did, yep.
And then there was a truck, a guy who went with a backhoe and he.
Yep,
now
I remember that.
Not a backhoe, but those things that.
Not sure if it's supposed to do
I
that.
didn't hear that.
Nope. Not sure if any of that's supposed to be done.
Very old.
It didn't happen. A time ago. And also maintaining the trail as well, is an issue as well. And coverage of the beach, and if we're going to have ordinances and rules such as parking, are we going to enforce them? So I do think for us, it's some decisions to be made, and hopefully we've heard a lot of input. Everyone else's input, I think that would be great too. We'd all like to keep the beach open, and
I think especially for this current year, in order to move forward in, like you said.
yeah, 12
Short
weeks
time,
still.
12 weeks to get it opened up is
Right.
having the people in place and
And
monitoring in
if we're
place.
gonna have success in, our gatekeeper idea as well, that has to go out and be advertised. I think we were in a real panic last year trying to get the beach open, there was a lot of uncertainty, and I'd like to have people be certain that the beach will be open. And how do we do that?
I always love solutions.
Yeah.
Get a couple minutes, Robin, for,
Yeah.
She always cut me off, Ted.
you don't have an
I'm
appointment.
just here to help. No, but I don't usually, do you want me to wait till public comment? No.
What's that?
Do you want me to wait
I'm
till
sorry,
public
I
comment?
did say come on up, I'm sorry.
Yep, no, go ahead.
Okay, no, I just some things that may have been missed is just reviewing the statistics that were collected last year. A lot of the instances, like the dog that was there, came off a kayak from the lake, and none of the things that you had addressed, and it could just be an oversight, that was preventing the people from the lake, whether they're landowners around the lake or they're campers from Pawtuckaway or may have come from the Fundy.
And that's where I
There's-
think the idea of the camera there, that's
Yeah, I like
monitored
the
during
idea,
that
'cause it
time,
shouldn't
and then you
be-
could just call the police.
Shouldn't be the homeowner that has to
Right,
post
it should
cameras,
not
it should
be-
be the town, so and only $10 a month.
I mean, that sounded, I had not
Information.
heard of this particular app
Yeah,
before.
that seems really good. I don't like the reducing hours. The gatekeeper, based off what, again, the statistics that I reviewed, there only 1% are non-residents going in, and you guys did vote in a fee that if people violated, but you're not gonna get that at the gate, you'd get that if they were already on the beach. I think the dam, someone had mentioned maybe building snow fence or something that would make it a little more, so it's something to work with the state, maybe putting some
Yeah,
sort
I
of
think it's an
fence.
opportunity to work with the
Fence.
state, honestly,
Yeah,
to,
so I didn't
we
hear the
certainly have
mention
some
of a
liability, I
fence,
would
but
think.
that was another thing, that closing in the rain, I think, is a really good idea, cause I don't know how many people use the beach. Last June, there was a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And I think if a nixle goes out, hey, the beach is closed due to inclement weather, might be a handy thing. I'm just here to help, I'm not here to complain. And I think especially, when you had reviewed the police report, a few months ago, about, I had mentioned how safe Nottingham is, it's a very safe place to be. But then you in turn can't say that you fear safety of a beach attendant when you're also saying that Nottingham is one of the safest states. I never felt being there alone during the week. I love it during the week because it's not busy. To just have it open the weekend would be horrible for me, although my grandkids like it on the weekend. But I think that's an opportunity as well to, if you have a gatekeeper, if something's happening, by the time they get all the way there, people could already be gone. I don't think they can monitor a lot of the issues, I think, with the homeowner, is people accessing their property from the dam, where the gatekeeper is so far away, they can't see people going or
again,
even
if
on
there's a
their land.
camera, they could, and then with the town can trespass them, it shouldn't be up
That
to the landowner.
road is fairly long,
Mhm.
and I don't know if people.
I mean, if somebody bushwhacks off the,
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
well, cause there's opportunity,
Right.
there's no gate or anything.
There is, it
Although
seems
there's
unlikely,
lovely
but-
posting there that says, please be respectful, I don't understand why people aren't respectful. You know, there's plenty of signs that are posted along the way to be respectful of the homeowner. I don't know what more you can do with these people that are just wanna violate.
Well, that's why we're trying to do
Fine,
something.
Yeah, so I'm here to get a
Follow the
solution with
rules,
you,
yeah.
I just wanted to bring some of the things, but I think a beach monitor is more helpful than a gatekeeper. And as well with the selling the stickers, I thought that was if you start selling, then it's more of a liability, the town could be held liable, I don't know.
It
we
had
we
to do
did
with the duty of care law.
discuss that, and I think that they're sold for parking.
Okay,
If
I
it's
just,
fee-based, then it conflicts with the duty of care.
yeah, I thought that's what it was, so I just wanted to,
Double check
I'm just
it,
here
yeah,
for
yeah.
solutions and trying to help, cause that's,
And I'm wondering, Robin, too, if, it might be really helpful if you don't mind putting those in writing and maybe
No.
emailing them to the
no, absolutely,
BOS.
and I also
Cause then
wanna
we
work
have
with the-
our,
Yeah.
we can put
Cause
our
I wanna
ideas
work with
together.
everyone and get what the problem is and how can we, I'm gonna try my best to help everybody, so that's just all I had. The shed's there, I put a lost and found there that I think is still in the shed. And the sand, it's not bad that the sand isn't just sand, cause it keeps the sand off the kids' feet when you go to bring them back in the car, so I don't mind a little bit of grass.
Not sure everybody agrees with
That's
that.
it, and hopefully, I'll have a chance
Yep.
to sit with the homeowner and hear their pain and agony.
Well, I think we're trying as much to, we're taking on the responsibility, and I think we're, you know, as select board, we need to take on the responsibility of how we're going to manage it with input from, you know, you're here tonight, maybe
think
you'd
it's
like to
most
say
people,
something, but I think we
biggest
need to take
complaint-
responsibility.
It's not drinking, it's not smoking, it's wandering. The people that are wandering, like that's what I don't know if you guys can help that, but that's the biggest thing that.
Well, I'm not gonna worry too much about what happens at off time, I'm concerned about how we manage our asset, the town beach. And so you know, all of your ideas are great,
Okay.
I'd love to put them together with
Do you
other
want me to
ideas.
send them to Ellen or to the,
Or
you wanna take this on, Charlotte, send them
Well,
to you?
I think the board, there's a
Yeah.
BOS,
The BOSPC.
yeah,
Okay, sure.
if that's okay.
Do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Anybody else have any?
Dawn Fernald, 66 Fernald Drive.
Joe
This
Farrell,
guy.
66 Fernald Drive.
Obviously, we're the landowner that everyone refers to. First, thank you. I think these are some good ideas. I did wanna touch base on a couple things. I think there is a misnomer that perhaps we have been refusing to sign an MOU. We have not been asked to sign an MOU this year, so I wanna make sure that that's clear. I think this whole threat and takedowner is coming from sort of a miscommunication. We were invited to a meeting in September, maybe, to give our feedback. We shared our feedback. As a result of that, I thought sounds like the department heads and all of you put together a thoughtful plan. But beyond that meeting, we haven't discussed anything or been spoken to or asked. We have never
Again,
said.
to Charlotte's point, I feel that even before we opened last year, the town wanted to be taking over the access to the town beach. So that's why we tried to, I guess, and I apologize, you feel we should have communicated with you. But I think that what we've been trying to do through the budget session.
Oh, no, we totally appreciate
Okay.
that, and that's what I said, thank you, like, that is all that we have been asking, is like, you know, to sort of Robin's point of maybe the statistics now are much lower, they certainly were not a few years ago, and I think the whole point for us is that the issues are less because we have been forced to manage it. And Nevaeh was a bit of a help for us, but as far as like, for us, once people have crossed onto the access, they've already increased our liability or they've already committed, so, and she unfortunately just wasn't positioned in a spot that was, the cameras would be great, that's what we use, I just wanna say we didn't request for employees, we didn't, however, I appreciate it, and we applaud it and recognize it as your effort to manage that, and we wanted to say thank you for that. I do though wanna echo what Charlotte says, I think it's been very difficult to know that Joe and I very much want to see this beach stay open and have never suggested that we were gonna remove our access and have suffered the public lynching for it. We have never moved the goalpost. We came 3 years ago with, can we do these things each year? We live here, we love it. I also work elections, I see our budgets, I know the challenges you all face. I feel like each year we've actually acquiesced and, you know, just said, go ahead and open it, and the truth be told, whether it's on Nevaeh's reports or police reports, we have cameras, we can tell you that every day that the beach was open just about, there was some type of violation of the agreement. The agreement between us is really nothing more than asking that the town enforce and respect the rules the town put in place. They're not new rules, they're not anything we invented. It just somewhere along the way, clearly management-wise, got out of control, and the sort of laissez-faire of use at your own risk, not recognizing that it was actually at our risk that it was being used at. So we definitely appreciate that. But I do want to echo what you said, Charlotte. It is a little disheartening as we've fought to see this stay open. We've worked behind the scenes, never under any hostility, never under conspiracy, always in good faith. We didn't hire lawyers. We didn't ever threaten to close the beach when, quite honestly, the things that have occurred to us, we should have. We probably should have day one, and I think any sane person would have. We did not. If that doesn't show to this town that we do not have any desire to revoke permission for this access. I don't know what more that we can, so this article is aggressive, but as you said, as we're all working hard to do this, and then to hear the public create this warrant article essentially because they don't want to pay to manage the beach. Seems to be something that if they just take away the access or secure rights to it, that suddenly you're now absolved of any responsibility to us as the landowner or any abutter, which is not true. Like, you're really just paying us for something we've been offering for free and legalizing terms that we've been trying to put in place. So we just don't want to manage the property. We want the town to enjoy the beach, but if you want nice things, you have to pay for them. And I think at some point, this board needs, or the next board needs to make a decision. If the town doesn't want to pay for this, like Charlotte said, maybe it's because they don't want this access or they don't want it all the time to open, but you cannot have it both ways. The problem is not us. The problem is the age-old problem of wanting things and not wanting to pay to upkeep them, take care of them, respect them, and invest in them. And we are very tired of being the ones who take the sword on this situation. We love the beach. We want the beach to stay open. We're happy to see the beach stay open all the hours it is. But if you all don't have the money to do that, that's unfortunate and we're sad, but that is not our fault. And I hope that that message gets put out there. Again, we appreciate, everyone's work and thoughtfulness. I don't want anyone to think, though, that we've not been resisting to sign an MOU. We haven't been asked to. I didn't mean to say that we appreciate their budget, but we came in with the intention of signing an MOU. We really didn't make any changes to it. So it just didn't get signed, but I don't want people to think that we've threatened to take away the access and that we're doing that every season. And for God's sake, we do not want to do this every season. We've said repeatedly, once we figure this out and it's working for all of us, we hope that this just becomes an automatic every year. It's just been working out the bugs. And
correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe Ellen can help here too, is I've heard a couple of people say that you keep changing the goalposts. So I did look at the last 2 years memorandum, and there really was no
There's
change,
substantial
right?
change. I
Right,
think the
there
only
was
thing
no
was
change.
just clarification
Yeah.
on, I think the
Just
foot
a couple of
traffic.
language, things.
the liability was probably the only piece. And, I disagree with people that we don't have the right to discuss matters that may harm us legally. Not on camera and on public display. It is our private property we're discussing as private residents. We are not board members. We do not have an obligation to do what we're doing right now. We're doing it because we care. We're tired of you all taking hits. We're tired of taking hits. The liability, and we let you know that we in good faith have not hired an attorney, and though last year we did ask our attorney to just review the MOU when there was whisperings of legal and to review the insurance policy. And as I expressed to Ellen, she just felt that it was not just inadequate, but a sentence that was put on the bottom of it actually made it really null and void for protecting us at all. And the amount is very small, all things considered, in this unfortunate. So other than that, I don't think we changed anything other than asking, and again, we've said it, if the only avenue is for us to get an umbrella policy, we are happy to do that. We just need to know what direction you want from us, but
I think we're at the point where we need to make some decisions and stick to them.
yes, because the non-decision making just keeps making this a torturous thing.
And I know
for
it's a
us.
complicated,
It's
when you
very
start bringing in
complicated.
all the different entities involved in this,
It's very complicated,
complicated, yeah.
and nobody is listening to any. And I hope that 99% of people who we've spoken to have been very gracious and very kind and very apologetic and said, if this is my land, forget it, and have not, I know the loud few are unfortunately what keeps us up at night, probably what keeps you up at night as well. And anyway, so I just want to make sure that was out there, that there is no threat from us as far as we've just.
Yeah, my understanding is, you've kept your part of the bargain. You've kept access open.
Yes.
And,
Yeah,
but
and then some.
perhaps the town has not met all the agreements.
Correct.
that
If
we
if
needed
I
to.
am being 100% fair, you all signed an MOU agreeing to things that did not happen, and we did not close the town beach. We did give a list of things 3 years ago. Not many of them were followed up on, and we have never closed
it's
the
a-
beach.
It's a difficult situation, but it's really not. We're asking for some pretty simple things. In the grand scheme of a town budget, it's a pretty minute amount of money for, the townspeople have access to the lake. And I do not think what we're asking is a lot. And if the town can't do those simple things, then
Beyond the
There is.
liability coverage, we're really asking for you all to enforce the rules you made.
right.
Pretty much. And I think too, we've gotten professional advice from a professional head of a department, the recreation department. And again, and she's here tonight too, she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that things really got tough during COVID in terms of things changing because there were no lifeguards to hire, everything changed. So yes, things have changed over
Yes,
the
and
years.
there, I
Due to
think
no
you
one's
mentioned
fault.
it before, but we had, when my kids were little, we had swim lessons, we had lifeguards, we had an arts and crafts director. Money was spent on the town beach somewhere along the
Right.
line. You couldn't find employees or good employees, and you couldn't, but like everyone's pretending like these things just change. And the reality is the police department and the rec department, it's all over town records for years, if not decades, have been saying,
Actually is,
we have
yeah.
an unchecked problem, we have an unchecked problem, we have an unchecked problem, we have an unchecked problem, and now it's, oh, those greedy landowners.
Well, and I think that the ultimate thing is,
Wanting to build their
lawsuits
home on their own
and
lands.
liability are important, but none of us want anything that could be prevented to happen that's bad. I mean,
Correct.
alcohol use can be dangerous around the water, we know
All of
that
it's
kids, we just
sad.
don't want,
We all
we wanna
grew
be
up probably in a
responsible.
different time where we were wild and free, and wild and free gets you sued now, so. It's great to be the person who says, let the children or let the people be wild and free if you're not the one holding the bag for the liability. When you're the one holding the bag for liability, it is a very different position to be in, unfortunately, so. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that was said, and again, we're offering you this access for free. We have not ever asked to be compensated for it, nor has any Bernal before us asked to be compensated for it, so sounds like the warrant article wants to compensate us for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as duty of care, just because we did actually ask our attorney about duty of care, duty of care only applies when you allow, is that free public you have to allow you can't, so if you go on an NHMA even, you can find this information, but our attorney
We'll check
already
them, yeah.
said duty of care does not apply when you're restricting it to say something like town residents, so you don't even have duty of care probably now. And a lot of municipalities struggle with wanting to have some funds for things like beaches or parks that they have. And so to protect the duty of care, if it is a public access, they charge a parking. You're correct. They get around it by charging. Again, well documented on any state website, but it was our attorney who said that the duty of care really technically only applies so we would have to allow Town Beach to be open to everyone, or our property open to everyone to allow duty of care.
Thank you. Anything else on the town beach? You're gonna wait till after Tuesday,
think
and
that's-
then you're gonna have different directions to take, so. Social services funding requests?
Us with Charlotte
That's me
topic.
again, sorry, I'll be brief. I was just I have a template for changing up the way we give our grants or money out. And one of the first steps, we're already late tonight, but I was hoping that I could get support or approval from the rest of the board members to perhaps have a roundtable discussion at some point with the stakeholders, our social services, Sue Benoit, maybe Shelley Tennis, anybody else in town who's interested, maybe get the VNA in, and really assess what our needs are here, and then put out a request every year, early enough in the year so that we can get them and have a really simple point system to evaluate them and do it all online. And really kind of simplify it, but to guarantee that we're getting the commitment from the folks that we're giving money to.
Right.
And in what amount, and we can adjust those amounts. So I know it's an oversimplified version. I'm happy to do like a little outline and I can send it to everybody to see what you think of it. But I'd first really like to hear from other stakeholders, what do we think our priorities are and are they being met by the current, and I think probably a lot of them, I mean, all of the, I'm not insinuating that any of the social services that we're funding now or helping to fund now aren't wonderful services, but maybe there are others out there as well.
I think the big thing is their impact on the town.
Exactly, because money is tight,
Yeah.
as we all know, and we want those services to be in the best benefit of everybody here, and to also see that they're divided up in ways that are serving different, between elderly, youth, mental health issues, housing issues, that we've got a broad category of not lumped into all one area, like all for kids or all for elderly or all for healthcare. We want to make sure that we're well-rounded, because we're spending a good amount of money.
I think it's good to address it now, give you time to
Yeah, and we,
put in place for the summertime and
And then we
get
can,
it out there.
and hopefully, once all the stakeholders have a chance to have their input, we can have a template to present and see if we all agree on it and about that. That's all I have to say about that today. And perhaps we can put out some kind of information to have a little meeting. And I'd be happy to do that, or anybody from the select board and anybody from the public who'd like to come and get this rolling after the elections.
that's coming up.
Yeah.
Are the road postings you too, Charlotte?
Yeah, everything is.
That was me. Just know that we typically do it about this time of year, and I had reached out to, you can feel it already on 152 driving back and forth from the school that we're getting into the heaving time of the year. And you look at the weather forecast specifically for Nottingham, besides collecting sap for making maple syrup, it's the time of year when the roads become a little bit. Now, Steve, when I had reached out to him, he responded, I had him respond to Ellen this morning, but he suggested we wait at least another week, but I don't know if you know why he suggested that. I mean, we have kind of the prime melt freeze scenario right now where we usually say, stop putting the heavy trucks on the road until the frost is out of the.
He did not specify, I think probably with the colder conditions last night, I know it is gonna warm up into,
Yeah,
the
I
next-
mean,
Yeah.
I just happened to,
Up and down.
the quick thing here, like looking, there was, now, of course, I'm not gonna load again, but I think
I
we had
think,
57s and especially, okay, so tomorrow high of 35, but you're looking Wednesday 51, 43, and then Friday 35, and then Saturday 49, 54, 59, 55, 67, 50. So we're hitting the time of, I don't see waiting another week, because it's supposed to come from us, right?
no, it's supposed to come, actually, your policy, which is why I gave you the ordinance, says that the authority has been granted to the Director of Public Works.
Oh,
Right.
So I guess the reason why it should be on here is for people to know that it could be coming at any time. I mean, if Steve decides to change his mind tomorrow, the road postings.
Because the signs
can go
say
up.
per the select board, so
Yeah, because according to the
But
I get that.
RSA,
We've authorized
to
Steve.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
so under 231-190 and 231-191, you do have the authority. You are the road agents
Okay.
for the town, but you have authorized him as the Public Works Director. So I think just for informational purposes, get the word out. We are at that time. It could happen tomorrow, even though we're saying it's not gonna happen today, according to Steve's recent message. So, if anybody's looking for an appliance delivery, make it happen now.
Right.
I don't even, and it really, I've never really seen it limit much except for people that are doing like organized logging, but it seems like most big trucks, fuel delivery, all that still drive on the road, so I don't really know.
They're
who-
exempt.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
exempt from the, so utility deliveries, even septic pumping is exempt from
Right.
the weight restriction, but like I said, you know, if somebody loses a dishwasher or a washing machine, they're trying to make arrangements, it's not gonna happen until.
That's more about dirt roads.
Pick it up in your own pickup.
I mean, that's
Even out
the
of
thing
the
too,
mud
is that
season.
the
Frost
DR
thieves,
above
Well,
the
even
hit-
garbage
wasn't
removal,
for that,
like the
but-
Casella trucks, or not, or like trash busters or private rubbish removal, sometimes those become a challenge.
Yeah, those are exempt. Those guys hammered right down through, I was behind them one time on Stevens Hill, the part that we have now paved. And they just hammer right through the mud pit and they make the biggest ruts ever, and then you see the next car behind it, it's like, I can't even make it through what he just did, and then they get mired, but. So we're not going to, it's authorized to Steve, you could be seeing roads being posted soon. I mean, he'll know what he's looking for, I just wanted to be like, hey, usually we talk about this and I feel like I've signed one of these, so I wanted to make sure. We're not gonna meet again, and this is the time of year that we're like, hey, the roads,
So when it does get posted, we'll make sure that a nixle goes out, we have it on the town website, you'll see the postings throughout town. They're very good about getting those up ASAP, and I think we even put a notice in the newspaper too, but if anybody still reads that,
The next will go out.
the nixle, yeah.
Yeah.
alright. Just one quick question before we move on, for the roads, for like the state, the guy that, like, we have one agent that deals with the bridge, one agent that deals with for the road, like, do you know where we are in terms of 152 getting reconsidered for reconstruction soon? Cause I feel like it is getting, like, especially in front of like the post office and like through the center of town, but we don't control it, it's up for somebody else, I just don't know where that cycle is, or do we have to approach them and say, hey, we're getting rough, come evaluate our road?
I'm
up
not
to the
sure.
highway.
I think we should approach.
State
not-
shed.
Yes.
Is it
Not
the
on
state
that.
shit? Oh, that's what I'm saying, there's usually like a regional person who helps decide where the roads get picked,
Right.
so I just didn't know if we
I'm
need
not
to.
gonna even touch it until after the bridge is done.
No, but at least have them start driving around now to see the condition of 152 to try to get, everything's a 10-year process.
Yeah.
So whatever the road's in right now, 10 years from now, it's gonna look worse.
We can have Steve reach out to the Northwood shed and his point of contact over there.
That's who we go through, the north.
Well, I think, yes, I think Northwood, I mean, technically, like, our shed is in Durham,
Right.
but I think
Sure. I would like
most
to
of the
just,
smaller issues, he can go through whoever runs the shed in Northwood.
great, thank you.
Guy in Durham probably is in charge of paving.
Just wanna ask.
I don't see any action items from last meetings. Mendel seems to have come off the list, I think that's,
Oh, I don't think it's off the list, I think it's just hiding.
okay, just wanna make sure it gets
I
back
was
on.
giving you a little reprieve for your last meeting.
Friendly with the delete button.
Action items for next meeting, review the DeBerto performance bond. Discuss the policy for returned ACH transactions for. Anything else?
It'll be everything down there on the bottom. We'll be assigning new board positions and liaisons and everything. It'll be post-voting discussions. Kind of seeing how we move forward.
New board.
And we'll have Oktoberfest presentation and the New England Watercross special event license application.
It's gonna be a long meeting.
Speaking about boards and committees, I'm gonna stay on as a taxpayer on the master planning committee,
Good.
but I'm not sure if you wanna have select board representation. At this point, we're so far into it, I'm just not sure. It's totally up to anybody,
I know it.
but you guys can talk about it at your next meeting as to if you'd like
You'd like
to.
to do more things?
No,
I
no,
was like, you're doing a lot.
no. I personally would really appreciate if you would stay on.
Yeah, I think we're
I mean,
hoping to be
you've got
wrapped up
the-
by the end
the
of the year.
background, yeah.
Hopefully whoever becomes the planning board representative, that would be a good, because you're
Actually,
interfacing
that's
on
a good
the
idea.
master plan document, which is the planning board document.
Yeah.
So that would be ideal. John, I'm looking at you.
Sucker bee.
You
If-
decide on
if
those
we put your name in
positions
the
next
hat.
week, or 2 weeks.
We can talk about that next week, 2 weeks. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
And as
Yeah,
far as
people.
the election, do they need help with setup?
Yes, I would love help with setup. So we are going to, I was talking to Courtney earlier today. We're going to continue all normal activities for the gym. And they'll stop at the end of the toddler group, which I think is 12:30 on Monday. And then it will be fair game for setup. So whoever can come from 12:30 forward, setting up the booths, the tables. Also for informational purposes for anybody listening, we are changing the format a little bit in terms of how you enter to register to vote. We're gonna do all the voter registration in the kitchen. So when you come in the main entrance door through the foyer, you're gonna hook a right, go through the kitchen, and that's gonna be your check-in point. And then we're gonna use the ramp for ADA compliant access only and for exiting, just to kind of keep the flow, because that won't backlog everybody into the hallway. We can actually utilize the kitchen, which is sometimes just
Okay,
clustered. Yes.
In the past, other groups like the historical were having T-shirts available. They were usually in the kitchen. Where do you want those tables?
That is going to be a conversation that will have to be had with the moderator. And she just left, but I can have her reach out to you, cause I think it was between that and I think maybe the Girl Scouts that were going
Right.
to be there.
there's
So
a
I don't
couple-
know if there's gonna be an alternate location, but this is gonna be the best flow for traffic.
So they go through, that's important. Thank you.
You're welcome. And of course, one of you as a greeter will be making sure that people direct in the
Right.
correct path, so.
7 to 7.
Yes.
And because I'm a broken wing, my husband will come and help tear down when he gets home from work. And I imagine he'll come on Monday too.
Thank you.
You have to give me
Please do.
non-laborious work
I
to
think
do.
we're all pretty masterful in the trade of setting
You
up for the
count.
elections now,
Yeah.
so
No.
I would say that if we're here for 2 hours, that will be 2 hours too long.
Yeah.
Honestly, with if we're able to sneak the highway department crew over here like we normally do too, we'll probably be set up within an hour.
And we're on the new system?
We
New
are,
voting?
yes, new, yep,
New voting system, new.
Yep.
so-
we have the poll pads.
Yep.
Correct. And again, the,
Tabulator.
If you folks don't mind, I'd like to have 3 minutes with you,
Yeah, we're finishing up.
okay?
Anything else on the election?
so,
And any other action items for our next meeting? We are good. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Matt.
Let me give you this, John. I've been unsuccessful in getting all my questions answered through Ellen, and the questions are in this as well, going back to October 13th last year, February 5th of this year.
So why are you giving it to me? Why are you giving this to me?
Because I thought Ellen was gonna be retiring and going.
Okay,
She's still our town administrator. and
right.
She'll be on board
Okay.
for a little while.
and Tim's still our chair.
Okay,
You're just like.
I thought you were.
No, Tim's the chair.
Anyway, bottom line here.
Yep.
I now have a witness that works in the town pit, and between the two of us,
Frank, sit down there.
Can't get your photo op if you're not sitting at the table.
You learned something over 3 years.
and between the two of us, we feel that there's probably $1 million to $3 million worth of mining being taken that hasn't been paid for within the town. So if you guys want to get your money and get a lot of things going, then collect on that. Now, Ellen told me that the sand was selling for $5.50 a ton. Every acre is 20,000 tons of salt, of sand. So you've got probably easily $1 million that's been taken out of there, and I can't find out why it hasn't, where the money goes. It should be going right into the town. So to take care of things like the town beach, the tax rate, and some of the things you wanna do, we have a mining operation that's out of control. And now that I've got witnesses being parked outside, I even saw a police car escort a truck in one day. Thought that was interesting. But there were 3 words.
Cars refuel.
That's fine.
It's not escorting a truck and you're
With-
making
with the truck.
statements that are
Sounds like a criminal
not
complaint.
accurate.
Well,
that,
I'd like to sit down with you anytime and go over the fine details. There are 3 words involved: nepotism, accountability, and integrity. And that's what I'm working on.
I guess.
So that's all I have to say tonight.
Okay, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I say something?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you wanna hold on?
In response to the request, Frank, I have supplied you, under 91A, I'm only able to supply you with the governmental records that actually exist. If there are open and outstanding questions, it's because I don't have the information to supply. You ask a lot of questions about assertions that you make on your own personal findings, but they're not backed by factual evidence that I have as a governmental record. I just wanna clarify that.
If you want to dance around the issue, that's fine. But I think the town is owed at least $1 million on the sand that's gonna come out of that pit.
There has not been that much material excavated out of
There have
that
been
sand
at least 10 acres, probably 15 or 20, that has disappeared in the last 2 years.
No.
I think,
You can
I'm
land
in there all the
airplane in there
time.
now.
again, you're making an assertion with no factual proof.
You're probably thinking Johnny and Dave's lot, and there isn't that many.
No, it's a
acres
different
there.
lot.
Task is out back.
Right, and Task is out back. But there's a lot of sand come out of that place and there's been trucks going over to Deerfield on a regular basis, as many as 25 to 30 of them a day, the neighbors are telling me. You know, being parked out there, they're asking me, what are you doing here? I'm telling them what I'm doing, just kind of monitoring going on. He said, well, you're on the right chord, so. Tell you what, we'll talk again. Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Have a good evening.
Betcha.
And lady. Thank you, my lady.
Public comment?
sure, 3 minutes, Steve.
Yep.
Now he raises his hand.
I
He interrupts all
know.
day
Since when
and
did
then
you need
raises
it?
his hand.
Steve, are you able to take a selfie with that camera?
I don't,
I can take a picture of it.
Can I borrow your camera, please?
I am here to thank Tim and Steve as a member of the public and the journalism of, I want to thank you for your leadership, your dedication to the town. Both of your wives have, well, right now celebrating, by the way, in case you didn't notice that. Yes, there's balloons in your homes. Anyways, I just wanted to thank you for your diligence. I know, I remember Peter Bach made an incredible remark that he said he earned his 10 cents an hour as a town board and select. And what people don't realize in this town is not only do you have this meeting twice a month, plus all the homework, which is a lot, plus you're also on other committees. So it is, Peter Park was right, you do earn your 10 cents an hour.
I
So
don't know, I think that was overpay.
that's why, that's my public comment.
But you have one other comment to make, Steve.
What?
Are you gonna bring up the alarm march? We need some funding for that alarm march, don't we?
That's you to bring, okay, yes,
You're the chairman of the Celebrate Nottingham Committee.
okay.
It should have been on the agenda, but
Put it on the next one.
The next agenda, you have to submit a
We've got
next
time.
agenda topic.
which we
Not till
can.
April.
It's not until the end of April, but they wanna do another.
On April 25th, what we've done, and it's beautiful, is that and this will be in honor of America's 250th anniversary. Last year was the 250th of the Battle of Lexington and Concord. So what happened then, and every, is that we heard about the Battle of Lexington and Concord. Folks gathered at Nottingham Square and then marched to Medford. The battle was over and then they participated in the Battle of Bunker Hill. General Dearborn and Sully led it. They did this march from Nottingham Square to Medford in 24 hours, including crossing rivers. So it was an incredible feat. So this alarm march is, we did that on last year and we would like to do it again this year. Where we have a rider come up and announce that what they said is the redcoats are coming. or
The regulars are coming.
The regulars are coming, not the British are coming, they're all British.
So to cut this short,
Oh, come on.
Thank you, Steve.
they're looking for a total
Yeah,
of
much
no more
money.
than $2,000 to do this, and the funding to come out of the Celebrate Nottingham Fund. So,
That's on the agenda for the next meeting, yeah, so we'll have to add it to the agenda.
could you put us on the agenda for next?
I will put you on the agenda.
Thank you.
And who's gonna wear red suspenders when Steve's gone? What there is
think
right
that's not
now is,
quite
so
in
there's a
my-
lottery in town as to how much beard you're gonna have each meeting.
We're gonna be clean shaven tomorrow morning, so.
Alright, we have non-public,
Just a brief one to review the legal correspondence.
I have a few other I wanna talk. I gotta add in,
Okay.
so we do.
My only other announcement that I wanted to kind of make with Steve here for Celebrate Nottingham and Steve. I got reached out to by New Hampshire Fishing Cats. They are going to implement a Rockingham Day on June 7th this year. They're inviting all the towns in Rockingham County to come to the stadium, and they'll have a table or an area for setup where we can pretty much do anything about what's great about Nottingham, whether it's historical value, which I thought was pretty much like our mantra, or anything related, just to kind of draw people to explore other towns and counties. But Rockingham Day will be June 7th at New Hampshire Fisher Cat Stadium. They're going to send out some additional information with discounted tickets for people that might, staff that might be there to set up a table and be able to enjoy the ball game. No, I actually just got a phone call at like 4:30 this afternoon.
June 7th,
June
I'll
7th.
let the Historic Society know also.
Yes, so between, I think the town of Deerfield has, I think they've committed their historical society, and I'm trying to think of who else, Epping. I think there's like 2 or 3 towns that have already committed to the
Good.
space, but
nice.
to just say, hey, like Nottingham's on the map.
Yeah.
And get free or reduced tickets as
Yeah.
well.
They're not very expensive to begin with.
Maybe some fireworks. But no, those are on Thursday nights, right?
And before we go to non-public too, I guess it's a chance to say to the 2 people who are watching, vote. Our election is coming up, and for Pete's sake, look at your community newsletter that has statements from the candidates. And on page 7 is also a way that you can sign up for news of minutes, public hearings, everything you need to know that's going on in the town, thanks to Ellen reviving that or setting up that system again. So please go to page 7 on your community newsletter and sign up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, I make a motion to move into non-public for RSA 91-A:32A, C, and L.
Second,
Motion and a second, roll call vote.
aye, Steve Welch.
Hi, John Decker.
Hi, Tim DeBrio.
I'm Matt Sherlin.
Hi, Charlotte Fife.
Good night, Nottingham. Once we come back out of non-public, we'll close the public meeting. There'll be no more business done. Have a good night. See you on Tuesday at the polls.